Hi, welcome back. Let's talk about the full section and offset section for this video. And you can see the full section, we have cutting plane is cut straight through the object, can replace one of the three views in a multi-view drawing. Holes are not sectioned. Section line is applied only to the area through which the cutting plane passes. And if you look at this, given regular three views of an object, determine which view contain many hard to understand hidden lines. In this example is the front view. You can see the front view adding the cutting plane to either the top view or the right side view. In this example, the top view is chosen, indicate how the front view is to be viewed. That is the direction of sight. After determining where the object is to be sliced or cut or viewed, change the front view into section AA. So as you can see, back in chapter 5, we use this three principal view to present the isometrics, and this orthographic view can be presented, can determine what the isometric view looks like. So for this particular case, because this view here, the front view is very complicated, and with all this hidden line, you won't be able to tell what exactly this object is going to look like. So the best way to do is to cut a section through, cutting through this object, and the cutting plane line has to be a thick line cutting through it. And then you look at this direction. When you cut through it, you can see that little circle here, that hole is this hole here, and the larger hole is that portion here. And then you cut through here, and you're gonna see this little section line, make it a thin line. So you have two different lines. So this line here is a cutting plane line, which is a little bit thicker. And when you show the section of the object, you're going to make this a little bit thinner. So you can go back, you can look at this pictorial view or the isometric view of the object from here, and you can, sometimes it's very hard to tell, or you're going to have to transfer all this orthographic view into isometric view. So this isometric view, as you can see, this object here, if you cut through this object, if you cut it with a cutting plane line, and you're gonna see the full section of the object and the direction of the side. As you can see, looking at that, you can see how this thing is shaded compared to here. This shaded here is this little cutting section here, and you have a hollow hole. This hole is open, and then you have a little opening here, a little opening there. You can see it's over here, leave it empty, and this whole thing, you won't want to section them because it's open. With that three view, you can transfer this three view into the isometric view. The offset section is a little different than the full section. As you can see, the offset section is very similar to full section, except that the cutting plane line is not straight. This is not straight. Compared to full section, it's straight cutting through. And because you want to show the detail of the hole, you want to show the detail of this component, you're going to have to cut this not straight. So the offset section here, cutting plane passing through the important feature, you only want to cut through something that is important to show the manufacturer, and cutting plane line changes direction at the right angles. You can change it with the right angles. Do not change cutting plane line direction inside important feature. Do not change the cutting plane. this line, don't change the direction inside the important feature. If it's very important feature, don't change the direction. Third view may be eliminated. You don't need third view because you already showed enough detail here. As you can see the offset section and your front view, by looking at this front view, you see the little hole there, this little hole, and then plus that little segment here. And looking at the side view, and you're gonna see about the same thing, but then this view is very complicated. And if you imagine them, if you transfer this information into the isometric view, you can see that that little hole is here, followed by this thing here, and you have little component C. So to continue on this direction, A, B, C, and note that the feature of the countersunk hole A, projection B with the counterbore, and the groove C with the shoulder are not aligned with one another. The cutting plane line is added, and change of direction. You have to change the direction, see, because you're cutting here, 90-degree, going a little deeper to show the detail of that projection B. And the countersunk hole is very important. You show the countersunk hole A, and then projection B, and the counterbore, projection B with the counterbore, and the groove C. So good. We're gonna end this video here up to offset section. We're gonna go on to half section the next video. Let's join me.